Now, many of you will know that on Wednesday, the tariff increase onto EV makers like Nio, who are selling their cars in Europe, just officially began. It is effective as of Wednesday the 30th, which is something that is not good, right? I mean, if there's one thing that we have seen onto this tariff increase, a lot of EV makers or Chinese EV makers are not happy about the tariff increase by the European Commission. I mean, so many of the people, or every time we talk about this, we tend to forget that it's not only Chinese EV makers, but rather Tesla also face a tariff increase. I think it's about 7.8%, 7.9%, whilst BMW and others that are producing or importing EV cars produced in China back into Europe, they could also face the same tariff as, of course, Nio, which is something that is not good, something that is killing, of course, the business for all the automakers producing their cars in China but exporting them into Europe. So as of Wednesday, this has taken place, or it is now effective, that whatever Nio ships to Europe selling, and this excludes Norway, of course, they will have to readjust the prices because their cars are going to be more expensive now. I mean, already Nio cars are expensive in Europe, and these tariffs, they just killed the market for Nio in Europe, except Norway, of course. I mean, Norway, you'll know that they are not partaking into this tariff increase, which is why I am saying except for them, because prices there for Nio in Norway will remain the same, which, like I always say, it's a good thing, because Nio or Norway is the place where Nio is doing the most in the countries where they are selling outside of China. So this is what we got this week, and the good thing is that they are still in talks. So though EU Commission has imposed or has made the tariff to be effective or as of Wednesday, they are still in talks. There are still some back and forth. I mean, China this week also reiterated or came and told their EV users or new energy vehicle companies to stop expansion or to hold expansion into European countries for now, because of the back and forth that is still taking place in the negotiations of these tariffs. I mean, as I'm doing this video right now, I'm sure China is already thinking about how they would retaliate from this as they continue with the talks. I mean, you'll know that Europe is very big in cognac, with an annual market of around 300 billion, which they just generate each and every year by just brandy or cognac. It's a very important market for Europe. I mean, this market alone, the second best country which they are selling or generating most of their revenues is China. And China could also retaliate with that, or it could make more retaliation by using that market, because they are going to lose billions and billions from that, because should they increase prices onto brandy and cognac, then it will result in the brandy cognac market in Europe seeing some huge loss due to this. So there will be a deal that will be struck soon. This is what Nio also told us, to say that in the future we will see this tariff fading away, and there will be fair competition, which is something that, of course, tells us good thing, because though we might not be needing the European market right now, but I tell you, in the future we will need that market for continuation of growth, or for continual growth, because if we just focus, yes, Abu Dhabi is a very good market, China is a very good market, but we need Europe also. So it will be good if they can find a solid ground, so that at least we can also see Nio easily selling also their sub brands there. Onvo, Firefly, those are the cars that are expected to do very well in Europe. In fact, I personally think that part of the reason why the Firefly sub brand for Nio will be sold into Nio stores as well, because it has to do with also Europe, because they might be seeing that they are losing quite a significant money from penetrating the European market, and with Firefly coming, of course, they see that they would not want to build separate stores for that, and therefore they can already utilize the spaces that they are utilizing in Europe. And with Firefly, you'll know that even with this 20.8% that will be imposed onto Nio, or that has been imposed onto Nio, CEO of Nio said the Firefly or more brands like Firefly will still flourish, which is something that is pretty exciting, something that is amazing, and it tells us that Nio will continue doing well even with these tariffs by their sub brands or by sub brands like Firefly, which is massive, which is bullish. So these are the latest developments when it comes to the tariff increase or the tariff story or trade wars taking place between Europe and China, and hopefully this gets to be resolved soon, because like I said, it end up hurting not just EV industry or the new energy vehicle industry, but it ends up hurting most industries, which slows down the economy of both parties, which is something that we don't want to see. So Tesla, it's also being impacted, but it's just that for Tesla, I don't know, because it's a US stock, they are getting a 7.8 tariff increase, whilst Nio is getting 20.8, which is not good, which of course with time we hope things get better. So tell me what you think about this, man. This is what it has been happening. I mean, BMW, some of the Volkswagen sub brands could be facing even up to 38% of tariff increase, which is something that is not good to hear, something that is not good to see, because like I said, it is killing the revenue growth, it is killing the potential that lies within some of these companies in Europe. Especially this will hurt those companies like your BYD, who has been selling pretty well in Europe. I know BYD is the EV company or new energy vehicle company in China that is doing the most outside of China in Europe, which, yeah, but again, it is quite insignificant, because if I remember well, in July, when one of the article that was talking about BYD sales, they said that in the first 4 months of the year, BYD had just sold a bit under or almost 10,000 vehicles, which shows you that even BYD, for a company like BYD who's not selling that much in Europe, or these will not impact them that much. It's just that the expansion will be affected or impacted, which is something that will not be good, or which is not good for BYD. But nonetheless, we will see these companies continuing flourishing in their countries, that is in China and also other countries like Middle East, UAE. We'll still see these companies doing well there. I mean, our Nio is now going to start to sell in UAE right now in November. They will be starting with the deliveries of their models right now in November, which is something that we look forward to. Someone yesterday, after the deliveries, they said, what if most of the cars they produce, they were exporting them in MENA, Middle East, Northern Africa, which we don't know, but that we cannot scrape it away completely. There is a possibility of that, but again, the CEO came and clarified to say that they had to reduce or cut down some of the incentives that which they were implementing, which is something that of course it was good because it boosted their gross margins. Otherwise, tell me what you think about this. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. That's all from me, and God bless you all.